And now the second part of PR. We're still on the day one, by the way. Now this takes us to the lifeblood of communications or business, by the way. The lifeblood of a business or business relationships, corporate relationships, personal relationships, everything comes down to one thing, and that is communication skills. That is how amazingly you can be able to communicate and put your point across without coming across as someone who's highly intimidating, as someone who's very either timid or shy, or someone who's very outspoken, gregarious, flamboyant, because you need to be very careful while you're interacting with other people. See, with regards to the psychological analysis and the psychographics of the broader population of the world, you can actually distribute the entire population, broadly speaking, in three categories. So we have the people who visualize things, the people who make memories with sounds, and people who actually touch and feel, and then they make certain decisions about their life. Now, here, the problem is that when you are communicating with someone, the first thing first, how do you spell communication? So you spell communication as COMMUNICATION. You comes first, then I comes. You and I, right? So this goes without saying that whenever you're interacting with someone, the moment you're going to talk about yourself, the moment you're going to talk about your company, the moment you're going to talk about, oh, I'm so good, I'm so amazing, I'm this, I'm that. Oh, you know what? I've done like 15 PhDs. I hold 17 Oscars. I am the most amazing person in the world. Nobody gives a rat's ass. That's where the company kind of fails as well. That while communicating with, as in like, as a PR person, as a PR professional, as a PR consultant, company professionals need to be very much aware of the fact that whenever they are making a public appearance, whenever they are making a public, kind of gathering, and they're presenting or they're giving a public speech, make it about you, which means make it about people. This is such a problem, and a lot of philosophers, and I couldn't actually put a great emphasis, whatever emphasis I'll put, it's going to be very small compared to what I'm actually saying, because communication is going to determine the quality of your life, maybe your professional life or your personal life, your corporate life as well as your personal life. So if you're a company, for example, because companies have their own unique personalities and persona, if that company is being taken as someone or as a company that just talks about themselves, they're just too full of themselves, they don't really care about anything else, they come across as someone who does a lot for the other people, but they don't really do it. See, action is something which is so important. And this goes without saying that, as the old adage says, that action speaks louder than words. So when you're communicating with someone, make sure that you become interested in them. Talk about themselves. See, if you're about a cocoa company, if you're about the coffee company, the coffee bean company, talk about themselves. What kind of bean would you like? How would you like your coffee? How often do you take your coffee? What are the moments when you actually take your coffee? This takes us to the case study of Doritos. Doritos. We all know about Doritos. And the company of the Doritos, they were struggling big time that why people are not buying their product. It's a good snack. People should buy it all the time. But they're not. And when they got into the detail as to why exactly people are not buying it, they made a shocking discovery. So one of the researchers who was sitting there, and he was a psychological researcher, so we said, who's our target market? And they were like, no, you know what? Our target market are the mothers, and the young mothers and the middle-aged mothers, and they're kind of persuading their kids to eat this healthy snack. But for some odd reason, why, even though it's a good snack, even though it's tastes good, people are not buying it. So if they called, that target audience, that क्या कहते हैं उसको? Focus group, and in that focus group, they were teenagers, And they started talking, and this the psychology researcher, he was asking that when when did you eat this Doritos? And he was like, you know what? The kids, now the teenager, were saying, oh well, when I was on a call with my friend, and I just opened the bag of Doritos and I finished it. Oh, okay. So he asked a question to another girl. When did you eat it? And she was like, oh well, when I was sitting with my friends and family members, no, not the family members, but with my friends, and we were having a great time. So we kind of opened up a few bags of Doritos and we enjoyed that. Okay. He turned to the other person and he said, when did you have that? And he was like, well, when I was studying and I wanted to have something to nibble on, I had Doritos. And bam, they discovered that. They were like, you know what? We've been doing this all wrong. The target audience are not the mothers. No, far from it. The kids are consuming Doritos not as a healthy snack, but something that associates the Doritos with fun, with excitement, with friendship, with amazing memories. That's what Doritos is all about. So till this moment, they were targeting the mother. So the boring is like, obviously when you compare the ads that you're going to be making, the ads that you're going to be making for the mothers and the ads that you're going to be making for a late teen boy or a girl, it's going to make a huge difference. The colors, the content, the video, the graphics, the models, the tonality, the copies, everything. It's going to be different. So they said, you know what, we've been doing this all wrong till date, and we need to change this. So from that moment onwards, Doritos is something when you're feeling happy, excited, you pick Doritos back and you have the time of your life. Just like Pepsi and Coke. Pepsi and Coke, amazing case study. I mean, that is by far one of the amazing case studies of all time. And I'm going to tell you a couple of amazing instances when these companies came up with amazing, brilliant ideas to encounter the allegations and the acquisitions, which, by the way, were not wrong as per the research, that yes, these products, these beverages, these sodas are actually harmful for the consumer. So they said, you know what, the American or the World Health Organization said that, if you consume, your can of Coke, you're having 500 calories or 300 calories, and this is wrong. It's additional sugar and blah, blah, blah. Did that stop Coke? No, it actually took Coke to the next level. Why? Watch this. Listen very carefully. So when these doctors, consultants, health professionals, they came up with this all tactical jargon, research papers and everything, and they were like, you know what, these people are robbing us. They're giving us poison, which is absolutely ludicrous. It's very wrong for our children, for our young people, for anybody, as a matter of fact. Coke didn't respond straight away. They stayed quiet. One of the important things of PR, you're going to stay or keep this shut for as long as you can. Why? Few benefits, but one of them is you will get to know exactly what's happening around you with all the information that is going to be available. And that takes us to the point where if you create awkward silence, the other person, if they feel awkward, they come up with something which like, and they will utter something of immense value. Trust me on that one. They stayed quiet. People kept coming up and up and up, and their PR and emphasizing and marketing at the back end, they were doing phenomenal jobs. So they came up with a strategy. They came up with a PR campaign, and they said, you know what? Everyone is right. You're right. Our can of Coke, oh yeah, sugar, 350 calories in a can of Coke, blah blah blah. You know what they said? Have a can of Coke while you're having friends around you. You laugh for 30 minutes, that extra 350 calories, half of it is gone. I believe that's just by far one of the amazing comebacks of all time in the corporate history. They said, you know what, we are agreeing. That's a passive aggressive attack, by the way. So instead of them being all blown out in the press media and all those things at the PR events as well, they said no. They stayed quiet and then they said, you know what, this can't be right. It gives you extra calories. But when you're having this with your friends, having a great time, laughing out loud, joking and giggling, you're going to burn all that damn calorie. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. What happened? You guessed it right. The sales quadrupled within a matter of time. Negative publicity sometimes can be utilized to the best of the ability if you know how to utilize it. If you don't become emotional, if you don't get carried away, do you think that pissed them off when they heard all these, corporate and your health professionals coming up and they were like, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, they're bad, they're terrible, they're this and that. They would be probably getting their ass kicked, the Coca-Cola people, in the press, in the media. But did they react? No. As a PR professional, you're not allowed to react. No wonder you're being called a public relation officer. No wonder you're being called from now onwards personal reason officer. People would come to you for their personal reasons. Consumers, stakeholders, governance, communities, international media, they all come to you for personal reasons. Unless you have something of unbelievable, bizarre stuff. The press is going to be breaking down your front door, coming to you. If not, then you must know when to respond, when not to react, how to stay quiet, and then come up with a brilliant strategy to annihilate all these accusations and allegations that has been put on. We'll connect after that on to the next one, which is why a new twist is needed in public relations.